Hi everyone, welcome to the SMB College Group Tigers live Q&A session. I'm Alex, I'm the marketing manager here, and I'm joined by Speedo. He's one of our Tigers coaches, and he's going to show you a presentation, talk to you all about the options that we have here with Tigers. So over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Alex said, my name's Speedo, and I head up the development program at the Brooksby campus for the SMB group, along with my colleague Greg, who is the manager of the ACE program, but we work collaboratively over for the rugby course. So what I'm going to do is as Alex said, I'll show a presentation. I'll probably be whizzing through some of the information because you'll be able to pick up the other details around them across the rest of the virtual open evening tonight. And then I'll do my very best to answer any questions that you have at the end. So if you do have any questions, just type them in the chat group and Alex will be able to forward them to me at the end of the session. So bear with me whilst I share content. Cool, Alex, is that showing?
1 second. Yeah, there we go.
Cool. So yeah, welcome to Brooksby College. I'll also say that maybe a little bit this is outdated, but obviously with COVID implemented last year, we struggled to get group photos like this. So that was actually our 2019 group that graduated. And you'll see in the front row there, you can actually see now full England international George Martin, who's there in his England 18s group. So that was the year he graduated with the fellas that you can all see in the background there. Okay, the difference is, because obviously this is the main questions that I get asked from people. So if you're looking at it, effectively we're trying to run like a rugby pathway within the Brooksby College rugby group, and it will look like a pyramid like this. Like I said, it's a little bit outdated, so actually you can take out that bottom part where it says enrichment. They will all be elapsed into the development program now. Okay. As you'll see, the ACE is selected till 30 places, okay, and then DICE is a separate adjunct. I'm not going to talk about that because that is an invite to students only, okay, so there'll be academy level players who also show the educational support, okay, so I won't be talking about that at the moment. ACE is selected for 30 players, and then development is open to all across the whole SMB group campus, okay. That doesn't exclude you from fixtures. For example, obviously the ACE League, for those who might know, is the kind of gold standard sixth form colleges leagues in the country, okay, and we play the other Premiership clubs equivalent teams in the north, so Newcastle's equivalent, Sales equivalent, etc., and then goes into a standings and seniors places against the relevant south teams afterwards, okay. The development group, we play in the next top league, so it's called the AOC Premier, okay, and again a lot of them are repeat teams, so again a lot of the ACE teams enter sides into that as well, so you will be playing ACE level rugby at some point, just in different league standards, and like I said, it doesn't exclude you from selection across the pathway, okay. ACE players can be selected for development and vice versa, okay, that's why I said there's a fluid movement in terms of the teams. So in terms of entry, okay, like I said, I'm excluding DICE because that would be selected from my colleague Greg. So ACE and development rugby, you'll get a bespoke rugby timetable if you are studying level 3 sport, sports science or agriculture, okay, and in terms of getting that, you'll need 5 GCSEs at the equivalent of a grade 4. Ideally with both English and maths. There is scope that if you have one of them, it might be potential that we can get you on with your other results. Bear in mind you got 5. However, again, if you haven't got English or maths or both, it doesn't exclude you from selection. It just means you have to complete your English and maths GCSE at your time at college, and due to the timetabling, you will miss one of the sessions, okay. But that's not a barrier, and that's not going to affect you, okay, because ultimately we're here to create student athletes. It's not just about the rugby side of things, okay, so we'll be here to support you to get those qualifications and transition you to your next level of performance. Slight difference in timetable, and that ACE do get a little bit more time accredited to them. That's based on the academic side from us. Okay, so they'll have an extra hour, 2 hours a week based around video analysis. But in terms of actual grass and time on the ground, okay, it'll be 6 hours each outside, okay, or with your S&C. So it tends to be a day of 1 hour rugby, 1 hour S&C, and then you have your game days on your Wednesdays. Okay, so that's the small differences in terms of there. In terms of what you'll have access to, so ACE or anything you see that with a green tick, that means it is 100% part of your program. You'll have access to that. The ones with the yellow tick is you will have potential access to, and it's optional for us to put on. Okay, so effectively with the development group, I'll actually be covering the physio and the gym side as well, because my background as a sports therapist as well as level 3 coach. And we try our best to provide you with the exact same thing that we do with the ACE. So we'll provide you with an individual development plan. We'll look to give you support in terms of career planning, nutrition, etc. Okay, if you're looking to study on a different course outside of the sports courses and agriculture, so for example, if you're looking to do horticulture or carpentry or something, this is what used to be in the enrichment program. Okay, so we can't accommodate a full timetable to you, but we'll 100% give you access to some of the training, okay, because it tends to be over the lunchtime period. And we'll also give you provision of your own gym that you can complete in your own time with access to the college gym, or whether you do that at home. Okay. How to apply. So applications need to be done through the Brooksby website as normal. Okay. And then on your application, clearly state that you're interested in Leicester Tigers rugby pathway. That's when we get highlighted and we can collate details and data and keep individuals updated with what we're doing. You cannot apply directly for us, okay, because it's a college admissions process. So do everything through the college website. Okay, from there you'll be organised an interview, and again clearly stating that you're looking to do the Leicester Tigers rugby program. On the some occasions it might be that we're able to join, predominantly that'll be through the academic staff. Okay, and then BMC will offer you a place from there based on grades and potentially some conditional circumstances if you might not quite be there academically, but it's not going to exclude you from acceptance. We'll do everything we can to include you on them. Okay, if you have any other questions, by all means cover me, and Alex, if you don't mind putting my email address in the chat group, by all means people can contact me if you have any further questions or details, but don't apply through me, you have to apply through the college website. Okay. So effectively everyone will be offered a rugby place. Like I said, I'm going to be repeating myself here, but just to clarify, ACE is limited to 30 places. Development is open to all. Okay, how that is done is we try to hold a number of open days, bespoke rugby open days throughout the year, allow us an opportunity to see all the applicants in terms of what level of rugby that we think their potential of playing at. And then we will offer you your rugby offer from that. Naturally, with the ACE being limited to 30, some of those places are predominantly filled with any academy players that are coming through us. Okay, however, that does open up 25 to 20 open places for everybody else. Okay, like I said, development program this year, development programs open to all. So if you're looking at enrollment this year, we obviously have the 60 places on ACE year 1 and year 2, and we have 53 at the moment on our development program. So we've got well over 110 students looking to attend Brooksby this year for the rugby pathway. I mentioned about the courses. Okay, I'll kind of fly through this. I'll just very briefly touch on the difference between BTEC and A levels, because that's another question I tend to get asked. Okay, so completing a BTEC is the equivalent of doing 3 A levels. Okay, and you can get the equivalent UCAS points for those who are looking further down the line at their higher education. You can see on here, so a D star is the highest grade, so that's a distinction, a merit, an M is a merit, and a P is a pass. Okay, so if you were to get distinction star, distinction star, distinction star, that's actually the equivalent of getting 3 A star A levels. Okay, And the difference in terms of the study is your BTECs are predominantly coursework. Our new BTEC Sport spec is 100% coursework. Okay, so that's your style of learning where you can do it in your own time. And you don't have the pressures of exams. 100% this is a way that you can look to complete your learning. Those who are doing sports science, there are exams, but off the top of my head, that's only 2 a year. And you have options to retake if you were to kind of get distracted or potentially feel under pressure of the exam situation. But likewise, your coursework is your predominant amount of the mark for your course. Okay, so that's how they differ slightly. I'm going to fly through the transport. Alex can point you in the right direction, but we do have transport links across the county and further afield in Nottingham and Lincolnshire. And I'm also going to fly through the accommodation, just touch on the price there. For those who are looking to board, the prices will be staying the same for this academic year. That is subject to change, obviously, when you enrol next year. At the moment, a shared room is £4,200 a year, which will be Sunday night to Friday afternoon, and you'll get your all meals provided in that time. If you're looking to get a single room, there's £5,000 a year. Okay. Again, more information can be found either during this virtual open evening or on the college website.
Speedo, can I just add, accommodation for this September is actually now full. But if anybody wants to apply for next September, that's get in as soon as you can is my advice. Thank you.
Cool, thanks, Alex. Yeah. I do have a number of case studies here, and I'll just kind of fly through maybe some of their background. So one thing to note here is all of these didn't become professional rugby players straight away. Okay, some have. So the few that I will pick up on. So Shay graduated with us in 2017. He was part of our first cohort of the development program, or before we had the ACE program. Shay completed his coaching and refereeing qualifications with us during his time, and he impressed us so much with his knowledge and his leadership skills that we actually got him some casual work with Tigers community team with myself. He's still on our staffing list, and actually a couple of years ago he got rewarded with his progression by getting a 3-week working trip out in Italy. So he got paid to go coach out in Italy with some of our other coaches, because he developed himself so much in terms of his academic side. So massive credit to Shane. It just shows there's the opportunity outside of the playing side of it as well. And I'll quickly touch on George and Jordan. So George was in the same year group as Shay. He actually wasn't picked up at any kind of representation rugby at all. So didn't play county age groups, didn't play any junior academy stuff, wasn't selected for the academy, but very talented player. He coincidentally then moved to Jersey just with his family when he graduated. Played for the amateur side over there, pressed so much that Jersey Reds, the championship team, they gave him a full professional contract last year. So last year, George was a full professional with Jersey Reds. So, credit to him. And it took a little bit longer than some people, but that just goes to show that the option is there. We're here to help you develop for your future. Okay, so whether that be immediately after, okay, or hopefully with your time with us, if you bide your time and be patient, it can come later on. And Jordan, I'm just going to mention him. So Jordan did play county rugby at 16s. He wasn't selected for the academy, but his 2 years at Brooksby, he worked really hard, committed to himself, to his development. Wasn't selected for the academy. Under 18s, the year comes up. Coincidentally, a few injuries in his position of back row occurred for the academy group. So Jordan got asked to train. Impressed so much, he then ended up starting every single academy league match that year in the academy league winning season. Was on the borderline of getting a pro contract, just didn't quite make it with Tigers. However, he then went on to university after completing his studies with us. He's been studying at Manchester University, and he's now just signed a professional contract with Sale Sharks. And again, if you spoke to Jordan, he would say a lot of it's from the support that he received from the coaches that he did here with us. But obviously, massive credit to him with the amount of hard work that he put in himself, academically and physically, because he struggled a little bit with dyslexia and stuff. So he worked massively hard to make sure that he got the grades that he needed to attend a university like Manchester Met and open up that opportunity. Okay, and I guess our gold standard ones, pro players. So Archie and Sam graduated last year and got selected for the Tigers senior team, and obviously George is now our poster boy, if you will. Graduated with us in 2019. And obviously, for those who don't know, he then made his Leicester Tigers debut in the 2021 season, and from that, Eddie Jones actually selected him for his Six Nations training squad. Due to injuries in his position, George then went on to earn his first cap with England in the Six Nations this year. And full credit to him and his physical work rate in terms of that as well, because he struggled quite a bit mentally with the pressures that he had with rugby, and he's really pulled through it, and the success now speaks for itself, and I really hope George has a long and successful future ahead of him. If you mentioned this, in terms of the leagues we play into, the AOC's Association of Colleges, so that's a national league that we'll play in, again similar to the ACE, and that is split north and south. You'll play all the teams in the north, and then you'll get seeding and knockout championships against the equivalent teams in the south. We get fixtures against ACE second teams or development teams, and we look to enter a number of other competitions to provide the best support we can for other players. So we'll enter a number of sevens competitions. Rosalind Park, for example, is the gold standard one for school rugby in general. The OC sevens is something that we look to try and target each year. That's something that we really want to try and commit to and set the standard, if you will. And we also enter the County Cup competition. Okay. If you select, well, when you get offered your rugby program, we 100% support players with their playing program, because we understand the importance of club and representation on us as well. So we ask students to be fully open with us, and we look to try and manage the playing time as best as we can. It's massively on the players individual, and them being honest and open with us and having a trusting relationship. Okay, but we'll suggest that not to play more than a game and a half in a week. Okay. So if the player was to speak to us and said, look, I got a cup game with club this weekend, I really want to be fit for that. Okay, we will provide them that support. So we'll either rest them completely if possible with the amount of numbers we got, or we'll ask if they can commit to a half of us for our game, so we can fulfill the fixture, and then that will allow you that 70 minutes playing time for your club on the weekend. Likewise, if that was your county weekends or whatever. Okay. And we look to take 23-man squads at every games we do. There's a rough idea of your timetable. So in short, you'll have your academic lessons in the morning, and your rugby time training times will be in the afternoons there, which will be made up of rugby in gym. For the development group, with the ACE group, you'll have an extended little bit in terms of either one-to-one support or video analysis. Like I said, for the development program, we'll try our best to provide that support as and when as well. But our staffing just means that we are committed to other things outside of Brooksby as well. So we do our best to support that where possible, but that's the difference in training timetables, basically. Wednesday will be a fixture day, and then Thursday will be a full academic day for. So as much as knackered as you might be after a Wednesday, unfortunately Thursday's your real commitment day to your lessons and completing your academic stuff. Cool, and that's it from me, Alex. Is there any questions at all?
Yeah, we've had a couple. The first one was about playing for another club, but you've answered that one, so that's great. The next one is, do I need to buy any kit?
I'll escape this and bring my lovely face back up on for everyone. Yes, there is kit available. So the kit's available through Leicester Tigers shop. If you go into the search engine on the shop website, click BMC kit, it'll all come up there. We're low on stock at the moment for those who are attending this year, so we're in the process of replenishing that, but it'll be through the Tigers website from now on. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if they are doing sport or sports science, do they need to buy the kit that the college advises too, or just the stuff that you guys need?
completely your option. It's not mandatory to buy either one. We would strongly suggest buying match day shorts and socks for us, so when we go to fixtures we can all look the same. But anything additional on top of that is completely optional to you. And the reason why we've put it on the shop instead of a kit bundle is so you have that flexibility to purchase that as and when, you know, when you grow out of a size, or you know, your income circumstances change. So that allow that. In terms of the college sport kit, again, as much as I probably should say, it's not mandatory as long as you're wearing a appropriate practical kit, so appropriate trainers or footwear for indoors and outdoor sessions, and appropriate sports clothing, then you'll be absolutely fine.
And we do have bursaries and things that people can access to if they need to as well, don't we? So yeah, all of that information is on our website if you'd like to look into that a bit more. The next question is, what is the start date for college?
So the rugby guys, we're actually starting a week earlier, so we'll be attending from the 23rd of August. Okay. Just so we have a bit of a block of a pre-season, because our first fixture is actually before your lessons start, due to timetabling. So official enrolment date is the week after, so from the 31st of August, correct me if I'm wrong. The Monday's the bank holiday, so it's not the Monday. So
enrollment for enrollment for most people is taking place the week of the 23rd now.
Okay. So yeah, 23rd then. Let's go with that. For rugby guys, it would be the 23rd. But that'll just be rugby that week, with very minimal academic stuff. Your academic stuff will start the week after, or from the 31st.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Just time for one more. How do I get into academy level rugby?
That's put me on the spot. In short, I mean, naturally there is, I guess, and I don't want to use the term, but a bias to those who are in the junior academy pathway at the moment, because we've worked with them for a number of years and we've got to know and build relationships with people and start understanding the 4 pillars that we look at. For those who haven't had that opportunity, then by all means contact my colleagues, Greg Mannion or George Glenn, who's just recently started with us. So Alex, if you want to put their emails, it's the same as mine, greg.mannion, which is the double N, at Tigers, and George Glenn is double M for the Glenn, george.glenn, GLENN. And they'll be able to provide you with potential opportunities where they go visit school matches, they open up other sessions. Obviously, if you attend some of our bespoke rugby open days, you'll have some eyes on you there. But there is naturally a bit of a bias to the junior academy guys already. But that's not to exclude. It's just obviously you've got to work a lot harder and show your commitment. And again, if you attend Brooksby, you got the opportunity there. So just because you don't get selected at 16 doesn't mean the window or the door shut. Like I said, with Jordan, he actually got picked up in his halfway through his second year. You know, it wasn't until January of his second year that he got his academy opportunity, and has now gone on to sign a professional contract. So
yeah, if you're thinking of starting this September, I would recommend getting an application in for sport or sports science as soon as possible through the Brooksby website, like Speedo said, and then you can have an interview. But because the courses are starting very soon, I'd recommend just getting that in as soon as possible. Just because you put an application in doesn't mean you have to enroll with us. If you do the interview and you think it's not quite right for you, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, that's probably the best thing to get the ball rolling at this stage, definitely. Is there anything else you want to add just before we go?
I'll just follow on from that, because naturally, if those who are looking to put an accommodation, that's quite a financial commitment for your families. We do have a probation period, so again, if you're looking to apply this September or following year, you have up until the October half term where you can transfer course or transfer institutions and colleges. Hopefully that wouldn't be the case. Hopefully you enjoy your time as much as you can with us, but naturally it happens, homesickness or course wasn't right for them. But basically what I'm saying, you've got a free 6-week period to get your feel for it, and then if you choose to drop out, okay, you'll obviously be charged up to your time accommodation wise for the amount of time you spent there, but you wouldn't obviously have to pay the whole year's fees from that, but it will be expected that you pay for the time that you have committed to it.
Yeah, that's great. And then if anyone's thinking of applying for next September, applications for that will open about October half term time as well. But that's if you're being very organised. Right, okay, thank you, Speedo. That's all we've got time for tonight. And thank you everyone that's listened and asked questions. I've put the email addresses in the chat box, so if you do have any questions, you can get in touch with Speedo or Greg as well. Okay, thank you very much. I'll see you later.